Sometimes you just gotta say fuck it, throw on some bright colors, and just melt into some bright music. Welcome to A Run on Does Music, where today we're taking a look at the debut EP from YukoEXE called Sugardust. In a similar way to another album and person I reviewed earlier this year, Ash Nico, YukoEXE was pushed to the top of people's For You pages on the app TikTok, with covers and some original music along the way. More often than not, however, it was covers of songs such as Toxic by Britney Spears, which were infused with screams and beautiful melodic vocals to boot. Screaming that sounded like it'd be perfectly at home in some pop punk or metalcore music, along with some very wordplay, toxic, enjoyable pop-centric vocals as well. It was a nice little combination and something relatively unique and interesting to see. Eventually there was an announcement that she'd be putting out an album full of original music, and the TikTok hype went from just a little hype to sky high. First official song we got from her that was 100% original, although not on the EP, was Bombshell, and it was a really nice introduction to what she could be doing as a solo artist. Again, you have vocals that sounded perfectly at home with pop, colliding with some vocals that sounded like it needed to be screamed at Warped Tour. And it was a nice introduction to YukoEXE as a single artist, but that wasn't the EP itself. The EP itself, Sugardust, was something unexpected in the best kind of way. Media High was the first introduction we got to the Sugar High era, and it was a nice introduction with some hyperpop sounding sensibilities, and a really nice, satisfying chorus. It's a basic chorus in essence, but it accomplishes the task at hand that it wants to do, which is just providing a catchy, easy to listen to song. The clear message is something that's explored later on, and that social media to be exact, gives you sort of like drug-induced serotonin pump, this drug-induced high, as you know the song's title alludes to. Seeing you get likes on a photo, seeing a lot of people share your statuses, comment on your videos, it can really give you this seemingly very needed serotonin boost to help you get through the day. You depend on it at a certain point. I myself even depend on that sort of thing throughout the day. I mean, if I'm posting a review on YouTube right now, I'm depending on this. The placebo effect that you get from seeing these people give you attention, plain and simple, just giving you attention on social media, is something that a lot of people fall for without even realizing it. It's a very interesting topic to tackle in the single, because at its base, Yuko got her start from an absolute burst on social media. She went from just being somebody that a few people knew, like her core followers were aware of, to overnight she became a sensation on the app. That's not to say it's a negative thing that she got famous overnight like she did. It's not bad at all. A lot of people gain that notoriety in a snap of the fingers, and it just can't be helped. And it's a good thing. It can lead to good things. And when you're this self-aware of not only the subject that you're singing about, but a subject that you yourself have a connection to, it's a great show of self-awareness, again, and sensibility, and just an overall good take on this concept. Bright tracks with insanely energetic verses and choruses, combated with a more serious topic, is something that she tackles again and again in this album. Media High, the first track on the album, Holiday Capsules, has a bright, hot pink aesthetic and a blushed red anxiety and worry just underneath that. Underneath this cute exterior that the song gives off with its lyrical moments and its overall instrumentation, you get this sort of line that cuts deeper into the subject matter and really just shows it to you full force. I'm going to read off a line here. Am I stuck inside this loop of horror and depression, spend my time browsing internet and feeding obsession? That right there hits back to the digital addiction vibes that Media High gave off, and shows that Yuko has a mind for cohesion and cohesiveness throughout this EP here. And it's not just a few separate songs that stick to their own ideas. The songs show a sense of relativity in certain points, like right here. And listening to the lead single, Media High, and now listening to Holiday Capsules, I thought that this whole EP was going to focus purely on the effects that digital media can have on a person when they experience fame and when they experience getting a lot of hits on video and stuff like that. But we actually got something different in the next track here. Tearing away from the idea of digital serotonin, going on to a song all about tearing away from a unfortunate situation, Fingerprints comes next. The song is ripe with allusions to escapism and just wanting to run away from it all, wanting to run away from a situation that you want nothing to do with. The lyricism is straightforward and blatant, which fuses really well with pop music as a whole, because pop music, I never really connect with it as much as I would like to when it's like vague allusions to things. Pop music, I think, perfects itself when it's just in your face, talking about a subject, no matter what the subject is, plain as day in the lyrics, like it does here. Instrumental beats and sunshiny singing from Yuko, great work there. And overall, we've been getting kind of a shift from what YukoEXE was doing for the most part on her TikTok, or at least what I could find looking through the videos I would personally like and I would personally favorite on the app itself. For the most part, it was covers of songs like, again, Toxic by Britney Spears, maybe Kingslayer by Bring Me the Horizon, you'd get equal parts, you know, bright pop singing and equal parts straight up screaming. And we really haven't gotten any screaming or anything besides just the hyper pop, pure pop, bedroom pop here on the EP. But then the next song comes in, Miso Yuko comes in, and we get a little bit of that refined edge that Yuko seemed to show originally. If you were to look at this album sort of like a tray full of things, Media High, Holiday Capsules, and Fingerprints were nice little cakes, nice little one-piece cakes with different fillings inside. Then all of a sudden, behind the sweets, behind the flavor, and behind the sense of safety, there's a needle there. There's an adrenaline injection in the form of this song right here. And you get it straight into the neck. Ah, that was more so my jaw. Jesus, fuck, that hurt. That's not to say that the pop sensibilities completely fade away and melt away here. You get a lot of that here in the song, especially with the almost mocking section of the song that, before I say this and quote this, there's no way for me to say this without it seeming fucking weird, as I am a whole ass 6 foot male guy, dude looking person thing with a beard, so no matter how I say this, there's no way for it to not come across as cringy, so keep that in mind. But behind all the screams, you get this quick little burst right before more of the angry, raw screaming happens, and it's just mockingly in your face. It goes almost like something straight out of a Japanese commercial. Nyan ichi nisan, nyan fuck you. Wait, is that how it goes? And then it's right back into the screaming. It's a nice little surprise for you to put in here, because I listened to that and I was like, hey, what the fuck was that? Talking about that with a surprising split verse later on between the singing and screaming, and this is what I really originally wanted and hoped and thought this EP would be. The album's pacing is completely thrown for a loop because you get a lot of back and forth, bait and switch, stop, go, 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 stop, go moments here with the screaming and the singing being mixed up here. And in some circumstances, this would be an absolute negative, but right here, it's a good swerve into traffic. The only thing close to any sort of dismissal here is with the whole like Ichi-ni-san fuck you thing, you have what almost seems like a character moment. And maybe I'm reading too much into this, but I sort of maybe stop and think with that section and the overall back and forth here, that what if YukoEXE took this EP or took some music in general and went more of a character-driven story route as opposed to individual experiences in the songs. I feel like if she went full send with songs like Miso Yuko, which implied both of her vocal talents here, that it could be a very different release and one that could be just as good, if not better. But of course, that's not what we got here, but there's still possibly long-standing musical career ahead of her. So hey, we don't know what's going to happen. We're just here along for the ride. It's Yuko's world, and we're just living in it. Finally, we hit the title track, Sugardust. And immediately, you're hit with some of the most impressive production pieces on this whole EP, if not the most impressive. There's a more grounded and almost processed kind of vibe here, but that fits perfectly with pop as a genre. Throughout the album, you got very few spares, like sort of pop-in moments and sound effects and little extra beats here beyond the just normal percussion and electronics. But here they're dialed up just a little more, just enough to complement the track, but not enough to suffocate the track. And also the cutesy nature is just 100% turned up here. Yeah, allusions to cotton candy, for fuck's sake. Cotton candy. I want some fucking cotton candy. I barely have anything sweet in the house. Oh, that's a lie. I just got some little Debbie treats. I am fat. Overall, this is exactly what you want from a debut release, especially a debut EP. You have a great definition of who you are as a singer and what your content is going to be right here, what it could evolve into later on. And you also have looks at the multiple facets of who YukoEXE is. She arguably got big air quotes because people's definition of big is weird, but to me, she got big on TikTok for showing off that she could do some really catchy, really melodic singing, and also throw in some screams that sounded like they could be on the same level as bands like In This Moment, to go as far. Feels like it had a little bit of something for everybody. People who have never heard of YukoEXE, here you go, have a pop album. Most of the songs here lean straight into pop sensibilities and feelings, and you're gonna enjoy yourself here. If you know YukoEXE from TikTok, you got everything you could possibly ask for here on this album too. I think the only thing I wanted out of this album was just more content. I feel like if we receive a full album, my feelings would be even stronger for this album. I thoroughly enjoyed this, but the sheer fact that it's only these few quick select songs makes me sit there and think, well, now I want more. I just want more. I don't feel fully satisfied. I'm left craving more. Like I'm just like somebody who just wants to, they want more sweets. They crave more candy after going to the candy store. That time, it doesn't suffer per se, but it lacks in terms of time because you have a song on here that's just 1 minute and 45 seconds. And while it bangs, while it slaps, short as hell. Like, where's the rap? Where's the freaking gabagool? And that track is also the most explosive on the album, so I'm really wanting some more. But this 10.5 minute EP has reached the end of its review, and I'm going to be giving Sugardust by YukoEXE a 3.5 out of 5, or a 7 out of 10 for overall score, because I like to do the little EP score separately, but I also include EPs in my end of the year list, so you get a full album score too. And that's the review. Let me know what you guys thought. Do you have any TikTok people who you follow, bands, solo artists who've been releasing music who you want me to take a look at, who've released music in 2021 or going to be releasing music later on? I'd love to do a whole video just based on, big air quotes here, TikTok musicians, because I feel like they're the newest brand of people, or excuse me, bands on Twitter who follow you, give you that message, and you're like, hey, check out our new single. And I'm interested to see if that's really how it's going to be, if you end up getting 20 of those in your inbox today because bands are following you left, right, and center. Regardless, I hope you enjoyed the interview. That's not correct. I hope you enjoyed the review. If there's something you want to discuss about the review, about the music, or just about your day down in the comments, feel free to comment. Stay hydrated. Have a great day.